My name is Charlotte, and I'm 27 years old. For 22 years, my parents called me the burden, while my sister was their golden child, their pride, their everything. That single cruel label shaped every corner of my life, until the family reunion that finally shattered the silence. I grew up in a home where silence felt safer than speaking. My very existence seemed like an inconvenience they tolerated, but never truly wanted. My earliest memories are etched with pain. My mother's heavy sighs when teachers praised my report cards. My father shaking his head as though my small victories were ugly stains he had to scrub away. My sister? She basked in a warm, endless spotlight, beautiful, confident, adored. The child they bragged about to neighbors, relatives, anyone who would listen. Me? I was the warning, the whisper, the one who would never amount to much. Every birthday felt like a grim reminder that I was costing them money, time, pride. They never let me forget. If I dared ask for help, I was ungrateful. If I succeeded, it was just luck. If I failed, it proved their point all along. At school, I perfected the art of smiling so no one would ask questions. At home, I learned to shrink, to disappear into corners, to take up as little space as possible. My sister learned to laugh loudly, to interrupt, to shine, and my parents rewarded her for every dazzling moment. They called her their miracle, their future, their only real hope. I was the burden they carried like a secret shame they could never quite bury. Family gatherings were torture. Aunts pinched my cheeks and said, "Why can't you be more like your sister?" Uncles joked that I was too quiet, too serious, too much trouble. My parents never corrected them. They just smiled, nodded, agreed, as if those words were facts, not wounds. By my teens, burden wasn't just something they said anymore. It was something I believed. I internalized it like poison. I worked harder than anyone, extra shifts, saving every penny, paying my own way, desperate to earn the right to exist in their eyes. They never noticed. When I earned a partial scholarship to college, my father warned me not to embarrass the family by failing. When my sister dropped out twice, they happily paid her tuition again and again, calling her brave for finding herself. When I graduated, they skipped the ceremony. My sister had a party to attend. When I moved out, there were no hugs, no goodbyes. Just a reminder to take my boxes so I wouldn't leave a mess. Still, I kept everything. Every cutting remark, every dismissive laugh, every sigh, I locked them away like evidence I never intended to present until the reunion. It was supposed to be a celebration. Extended family flying in, a rented hall glowing with lights, long tables overflowing with food and forced cheer. I almost didn't go. Something deep inside warned me it would hurt more than usual. But another part, the part that had carried burden for 22 years, wanted to stand there and survive it one last time. When I arrived, my sister was already the center of applause, radiant in a bright new dress, confidence wrapped around her like armor. My parents hovered beside her, glowing with pride. I slipped into a seat near the back, invisible, exactly where I'd always belonged. Speeches started after dinner. Glasses clinked. Laughter rolled through the room. Then my father stood, tapping the microphone. The chatter died. He smiled, that familiar smile that never reached his eyes when they landed on me. He spoke of family, legacy, pride. And then, loud and clear for everyone to hear, "We only have one daughter we're proud of." My sister laughed, not nervously, not awkwardly, but with genuine amusement, like it was a shared joke we were all in on. The room rippled with uncomfortable chuckles, then fell into a heavy, awkward silence. I felt something inside me crack. Not dramatically, not with tears or screams, just a quiet, final fracture. In that instant, the label I carried my whole life became real, spoken aloud for the world to witness. I didn't cry. I didn't run. Not yet. I remembered the voice notes I'd recorded on my phone just to stay sane. The accidental captures when my parents thought I wasn't home, the arguments, the complaints, the casual cruelty when they believed no one was listening. I had kept them all. Heart pounding, I stayed seated as my father continued, oblivious that the story was about to unravel. Relatives avoided my gaze. Some looked sorry, some looked curious. My sister leaned back, smug, still basking. She had no idea what was coming. I stood slowly, legs trembling but my spine straight for the first time in years. The room finally noticed me. The microphone squealed as I walked to the projector table. Every step echoed louder than my heartbeat. My father paused mid-sentence, confused, irritated, like I was interrupting something important. My sister rolled her eyes, still smiling, convinced this would be another awkward moment she could laugh away. I picked up my phone and said, calm as glass, clearly since we're talking about family and pride. I think everyone deserves to hear the whole story. A few relatives shifted. Someone whispered my name. My mother's face tightened like a vice. I connected my phone to the projector. The screen glowed behind me. I pressed play. At first, just static. Then my father's voice sharp, unmistakable. She's a burden. My mother's agreement followed, complaining how I ruined plans, how my sister was the only daughter worth bragging about. Gasps rippled across the room. The laughter died instantly. I didn't look at anyone. I let it play. Clip after clip. Years of words they thought were private. Dates and timestamps flashed on screen, undeniable proof this wasn't out of context, wasn't a misunderstanding. My sister's smile vanished. She glanced around desperately for allies, but found only stunned, horrified faces. By the 7th minute, she bolted chairs scraping, pushing through the crowd, her perfect image shattering in real time as she fled toward the door. My mother lunged to stop the recording, but my uncle stepped in front, shaking his head. Let it finish, so it did. When the final clip ended, the hall was silent, thick, heavy, honest silence I'd never heard before. I turned to face them all. My voice was steady, even as my hands shook. For 22 years, I said. I was told I was a burden. I believed it. I carried it. I built my entire life trying to be lighter, smaller, less heavy. For people who never wanted to lift me. My father opened his mouth, but nothing came out. My mother was crying, not from remorse, but from exposure, from shame. Relatives began to murmur. Anger replaced shock. Questions flew. Why would you say that? How could you treat your own child like that? My parents had no answers left that held weight. The story they controlled for decades had slipped forever from their grasp. I didn't stay to watch them crumble. I didn't need screams or dramatic exits. I had said everything that mattered. I walked out of that hall lighter than I'd ever felt, leaving the label behind like a shed skin. Outside, the night air tasted clean, like it finally belonged to me. In the weeks that followed, everything shifted. Relatives reached out, some apologizing for not seeing sooner, others thanking me for having the courage they never did. My parents tried calling, explaining, rewriting history. But the recordings existed, the truth existed, and I no longer needed their approval to know my pain was real or my worth undeniable. That night taught me something I'll carry forever. Being called a burden doesn't make you one. Carrying the silence does. And when you finally set it down, it changes everything. If this story touched you, if it reminded you that standing up for yourself matters, even when your knees shake and your heart races, then hit that subscribe button. Stories like mine prove that the truth, once spoken, can set you free. Thank you for listening.